It's time to raise the roof for our latest regular season episode. Welcome back, everyone, to this latest episode of Raise the Roof. I'm your host, Alex Murphy. With me, as always, my co-host, Evan Gibson. Evan Lynch will be on later in the episode. Gibby, how you doing?
I'm pretty good, Alex. Not a lot happening in the sports world over the weekend, other than like some Copa American games on Saturday and some UEFA games, but been pretty good, Alex. Just vibing, honestly. So
I know
we'll
how
cut
that
that real
feels.
short.
I know how that feels. Unfortunately, the Rays have not been doing the same in terms of
Yeah,
hosting. The Rays hit the juggernaut that is the Texas Rangers. And by juggernaut, I don't necessarily mean this year because I understand that this team is the reigning World Series champions. They're just not playing that well. But whenever the Rays play them, the Rays just they can't seem to beat them. The Rangers just have the Rays number. Nady Eovaldi has had the Rays number since 2021, which is absolutely astonishing. And they got swept because, of course, they did. Because, of course, that's how things go. I will say positives to look at moving forward, or I guess positives that we saw. The Rays did win five straight series before the eventual collapse that was the Texas Rangers over the weekend. So that's a good thing to look at going into this week, which is a big week for the Rays, playing two teams that are playoff caliber teams. One team, I would say, that's going in a much better direction than the other team. But the Rays have a three-game set against the Yankees and then have a three-game set against the Cleveland Guardians going into the weekend. Is it a three-gamer against the Yankees or is it a four-gamer? Am I going
it's
crazy?
a three-gamer against the
It's a three.
Yankees.
So series starting tomorrow. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. News about the weekend, regardless of situation, we will, at least me and Gibby, will be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the Trop. So if you guys are there, be sure to say hi to us. We don't know what's going to happen during that, but we will be there at those games. There's a lot of action going on at those games. So be sure to say hi. Be sure to stop by and say, talk to us. We will be there the entire weekend. Should be a good time. But before we get into any more conversation about the weekend, last weekend, this coming week, anything of that sort, we want to say a quick shout out to our sponsors, SeatGeek and the Clutch and 1771 Designs. Be sure to use the code Raise the Roof in all caps at checkout for $20 off your first purchase of $50 or more using the SeatGeek app, and also 10% off any in the Clutch order anytime, anywhere. And then that same raise the roof code is lowercase, except for R and the T and the R capitalized. Everything else is lowercase. Use that same raise the roof code for 15% off any purchase with 1771 designs. And also for this podcast, as I said in the last podcast, we have a bunch of new places that you guys can listen to us at iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Audible. If you guys use Audible, any of those places, be sure to subscribe to us. Be sure to share this with your friends, your family, anyone who's a Rays fan or a baseball fan who wants to add a new podcast into their podcast feed. Be sure to add that in there. But Gibby, we haven't recorded a podcast in a couple of days, and unfortunately, well, like I
Yeah.
said, things did not really go that great for the Rays over the weekend. Do you want to start off with that as I already talked about, or do you want to get into some more happy news before we get into?
No, let's start off with the bad news.
Let's start off with the. Let's just go back. Well, Rays can't beat the Rangers.
Yeah, no surprise. Yeah, I mean, kind of just whatever you threw it. I mean, your closest chance was Saturday, and in that close game, it just comes really down to that Kevin Kelly inning. Gave up a lot of runs there, but was able to recover and get out of the inning at least. And that can be said for some of our guys. Taj Bradley had really good outing on that game. You can say that, but Heaney was very good as well. I mean, three hits and two walks, seven strikeouts, five and one-third inning. Pretty good from Heaney there. And then, I mean, we do get to their bullpen early, but they eventually shut it down after that, and they're able to get a few more runs from Kelly blow up. Yeah, not really from. Was there an unearned run in here somewhere? I forgot how that happened.
There was just a bunch of chaos.
Yeah,
There was just a bunch of chaos. The
Saturday
Rays,
was,
yeah,
and
Saturday was the
and then Sunday. Yeah, Saturday was the best that we had, but still
Sunday.
fought.
We can just forget that it ever happened.
Yeah, that's just awful. That's just awful. Sharma Armstrong struggling again. I mean, I guess that's a very good situation to put him in because it's already low pressure from the outing Littell put up.
Yeah, it clearly didn't. It clearly didn't make a difference because he still looked terrible.
Yeah, and he still looked terrible. And then even those, yeah, all the guys we put in after also got a run on him. I mean, I guess it was just very low stakes for them, so they're not really caring about what they're pitching at that point. But Colin Poche's been like one of our hottest pitchers this first half of this season.
And also,
And
Edwin Uceda gave up his first run of the year.
yeah,
I mean, I will say
garbage
with
time, garbage time.
yeah,
Well,
garbage time run, but it's still a run. But I mean, even with that, he still looks fantastic in the games that he's played.
yeah,
So that's
exactly.
great to see. Through
So,
6 games, or through 6 appearances and nearly 12 innings, he's only given up a run. He's got a sub 1 ERA, has 11-2 strikeout to walk, so that's 5.5-1 strikeout to walk ratio. So he's looked great even with that run that he gave up.
yeah, and then Shane Baz went 6 innings,
Yeah,
3 earned
the
runs,
return of
but
Shane Baz to the
yeah,
to things, which was fantastic. I think this was a weekend that the Rays showed a lot of promise in terms of the pitching. You know, guys like Uceda having pretty decent. I understand he gave up the run, but still, that's someone who is still a young, relatively young pitcher, especially in the bullpen. That's looked good. But the starting pitching, Baz returning for the first time in over 700 days, so that's more than I think that's almost, if not more than 2 years. I'm trying to think. No, nearly 2 years because I think it was 727 days, and 2 years is 365 plus 365, so that's
jeez.
730. So that's just short of 2 years not having played baseball, and now he's playing
Hmm.
and pitched a gem. I understand he gave up the 3 runs. You're not going to fault him because this is his first time back, but he looks fantastic. I'm surprised that Taj didn't go out for another inning. I would have expected him to, especially if they want to make him someone in the rotation moving forward. I would have expected him to pitch another inning.
Yeah.
He only goes the sixth though. Only goes the
Hmm.
sixth. Gives up. I think he gave up. I think it was only 2 runs that he gave up. Only threw sub 80 pitches. So impressive, really impressive outings from the 2 young guys on this team.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what wasn't an impressive outing this weekend?
What?
Which good news for this guy, got his all-star ballot. Isak Paredes. He only had 1 walk this entire series.
Yeah, it
Crazy.
wasn't a great
Wasn't a
weekend
great
for
se
him. It was a great weekend for Yandy.
Yeah, Yadi had a great weekend. I mean, I'm starting to see, is Randy above 200 now?
Randy
Is he
was
at?
above 200. I don't know if he still is above 200, but he was above.
He
I don't
had
know if he
two
is because he went
hits,
0 for 3.
3 hits,
Let's check where he's at.
and
He's at
then he might have went
201.
0-3.
He's at 201.
Let's go, Randy. Let's fucking go. Let's
Woo!
fucking go. We're so fucking bad. That's the best news
I
of this
wouldn't say
fucking
that. I wouldn't
series.
say that yet.
That's the best news of the series, Alex.
I wouldn't say that yet. The Rays
The
are not bad
Mendoza
because
line
they're
has
back under
been
500.
has been the Mendoza line. That's all that
Well,
matters.
there's the Mendoza line and then there's the 500 line. And
Yeah,
Rays, Randy went up over the Mendoza line and then the Rays went under the 500 mark. So not
very,
necessarily the combo
very
that we want.
bad.
Even
Very
with,
bad.
yeah, and not really great considering this was probably the stretch that they needed to be able to get some wins before the All-Star break. And they got the wins. They got the really, 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 really big wins that they needed. And then just a lot of yikes this weekend. A lot of yikes this weekend for
Yeah, I
sure.
mean, you have a great series against the Royals, who are
Fantastic series against the
fantastic.
Royals.
They're they're a
A
wild card
playoff
team
team.
ahead
You
of
win two out
us.
of three.
Yeah. And then I don't know, the Rangers below 500, but every time they see us, they just want to dog us. I mean, they gave us 1 run in that playoff series, and then we had like 1 win in the first series, the second series of the season, sorry.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm very, very surprised that the Rays were able to take 2 of 3 against the Royals. I think that was a really, really good series
yeah,
from
that was really good, but yeah.
didn't really matter much as soon as they played the team that they can't fucking beat.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, if we're looking up forward to this next series, the Yankee series, it's gonna be a pretty crucial one. This is a floundering Yankees team. I mean, if you lock up Aaron Judge on this lineup, you can kind of make your way through some wins right now. So this is the time to beat the Yankees. And I mean, if we're gonna win a series against the Yankees during the season, it's gonna be this one when they're kind of having some struggles right now. So
This is true. I will say I think it's important to note that I just teams, and I know I said this on Twitter about like whatever expectations that you had before the season about the Rays, lower them. I understand that this series, I feel like it's still an outlier just based on the way that the Rays have played in recent weeks because of the fact that the Rangers just aren't are the one team that for whatever reason the Rays just can't beat. But I do think it's important to note that the Rays just aren't the team that we thought that they might be coming into this season, a team who, could challenge potentially for a division, who could be a high seed in the wild card race. The Rays are going to be a team that will be they're still somewhat in the thick of things in the wild card race. They're going to be a team that's going to be gunning for that number 6 seed. They're not going to be gunning for anything higher, in my opinion, than that number 6 seed. So, like, if you guys think that there's still a chance, I mean, I think at this point, I think it's pretty safe to rule out the division. But
Oh
I
yeah.
just I think that it's important for us to know that through the everything that's going on with this team, it's probably just going to be them trying to go for a wild card spot, and they could still very, very, very well get that wild card spot. I think it's far from out of the cards. I think that's still very much in it, but I also think it's important too that we temper our expectations on this team, knowing that just pieces aren't there, but pieces are getting better at the same time. So, I could be saying this, and in a month, we could be seeing a team that is, in the thick of things for wild card race, is, multiple games over 500, is a really good team. But at this point, I just don't think that we know.
Yeah. I mean, now you got how many teams is it? Yankees, Red Sox, Twins, Royals, and the Astros now ahead of you. So, I mean, it will be a fight, but I mean, they've
Hey,
shown in recent weeks.
If the Astros can get back above 500, then we can get back above 500. And we were above 500.
Yeah, and we can get back to work on things, you know. It's gonna be good. I think it's still a pretty exciting season to
It
watch.
is. It's just a weird season of Rays baseball.
Yeah, yeah. I think people I mean they're a little spoiled right now. I mean you see it in like kind of the playoff attendance from last season and they got kind of a hangover and I mean not making the playoffs wouldn't be the worst thing, but I feel
I
like this
just
team
think
you're
we
right.
need to
This team's got some fight
appreciate
in it.
we need to appreciate the success because the success wasn't there for the first 10 years of this franchise, and we don't know how long the success is going to be. So whenever the success is here, whenever it happens, as it's happening, we need to appreciate it because you never know when it's going to end.
Exactly.
That's all. That's I think how we should be approaching things, and that's how we should have been approaching things for the past 5 seasons. Because again, I mean, this team is still a damn good team, and there's still a lot of good things. I mean, like we said, Randy's gotten his average above 200, and he was batting like 150 or whatever it was a couple months ago. So he's really getting back in the swing of things, which has been great. I don't know what he's going to bat this season, but clearly things are going in a much better direction for him, which is fantastic. Belau is starting to hit a lot more home runs, which is great. Yandy's starting to get a lot more contact and starting to get stuff going. Guys that are mainstays in this lineup are starting to go back to their mainstay form, but then there's still those blips. You still have the Taylor Walls, you still have the Alex Jacksons and things like that. But the good parts of this team are really starting to show more, and the young parts of this team are starting to show more
Exactly.
because we're getting the best of Taj Bradley. We just saw Shane Boss for the first time in 2 years. We're starting to get the good parts and the bad parts. And speaking of good parts, because it's going to happen this weekend and we're going to be there to see it, a face that we haven't seen inside the Trop, and I'm sure will probably be wearing a Rays uniform, that we haven't seen inside the Trop since he was traded back in 2017 because they just never lined up to where the Rays like the Rays played him on the road, but he never played him here. Longo's coming back.
It just feels so as a fellow Evan,
It's crazy to
as
say
fellow
that.
Evan, it just feels so good to have our brother back.
It's so crazy to say that Longo's coming back.
And it's sad because he's been in town. Everyone knows he's been in town multiple times since then. But glad he's back in America's ballpark. America's man back in America's ballpark.
It's just crazy.
It's gonna be cinema. It's gonna be cinema.
It's
And
crazy.
that's Saturday, right?
It is. So, for those who don't know, the weekend series, I believe that game is going to start at 4, the Saturday game. So, we got normal 6:40 start or whatever, 6:50 start. Then we got like a 4:10 start and then like a 1:40 start on the weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, Longo's going to be throwing out the first pitch. Apparently, he's going to be doing some sort of a limited autograph session at the team store for like an hour before the game or something of that sort, or maybe during the game. It's like a very, very restricted thing. Like you can only get one thing signed. You can't take photos or anything like that. Just, strictly doing that. And he hasn't announced his retirement yet or anything. So, and he's not playing right now. He's still a free agent, even though it's midway through the season, more than midway through the season. He hasn't been signed. So I feel like we're gonna get to the point where most likely he's probably gonna be doing, he unfortunately he'll probably be retiring soon, which sucks, but he'll be there at the Trop over the weekend, which is a crazy thing to say because of the fact that somehow in the 6 years or so that he played after leaving the Rays, he never once played at the Trop, even though he played the Rays in series. Like, it's crazy that it never lined up to where he played at the Trop.
Yeah.
Because he played for two NL teams. He played for the Giants and he played for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, and that might be the ultimate tragedy of the day. If we don't get to see a playing Evan Longoria in the Trop ever again, that would be kind of sad. But yeah, it's nice to see him there this weekend throwing out first pitch, I assume.
Yeah, no, he's throwing out the first pitch. It's going to be sick.
God, yeah. Yeah, I mean, hey, if things is, I don't know. Never mind. But
Evan, you
yeah.
came in at a good time. We were talking about the absolute atrocity that was the Rays playing the Rangers at any point ever. And then talking about the good of the Royals series, but now we're talking about Longo.
Yeah, I mean, the Rangers just own us. I don't know
Plain
why.
and simple.
They were not a good team right now, and we made them look like the World Series champions that they were last year. Just terrible series. Kids,
Much
and
like much like Miguel Cabrera against Trevor May, the Rangers were the Rays' daddy.
it's I don't get it. Right when we were starting to like look good, we were kind of turning the corner.
That's the
This team just
2024 Rays,
is.
baby.
Yep, like I said, you take one step forward, two steps back. That's what this team is. But
It's a tragedy. It's a
yeah,
tragedy.
very, very forgettable series.
But as we were
Absolutely.
talking about, somehow, some way, since he was traded in 2017, Longo never played one game for the Rays. Never played one game in the Trop. Like, because of the teams that he played for, it never worked out to where he played one game in the Trop. And finally, he's making his return back, which is just an absurd statement.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. I never even thought about that. He played them twice, I think.
Yeah, and they
And
were both on the road.
because I remember they played him in San Francisco like in 2019 or I think or something.
And then they played him last year on the road in
In
Arizona.
Arizona. Dang, that is weird to think that he's never
It
played
is.
at the
It's
Trop.
it's like you wouldn't think it, but it's such a crazy thought.
Like,
Who'd have thunk?
but no, I mean, definitely a surprise. I don't know if anybody like saw that coming this weekend.
No, that came out of nowhere. Steve posted, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Definitely a cool, nice little surprise on this off day that hit like that'll be really cool. I mean, he's got obviously the next thing is I think it'll be his first time seeing a statue, right?
I
I'm
mean, I would
assuming.
assume so.
And then hopefully the next step is retiring his jersey too into the Rays Hall of Fame. But
Oh yeah,
that
no.
is to be really cool
If they don't
though.
retire his jersey, that's a shame. I would say that they should retire Crawford's jersey, but I feel like if they're going to retire someone, it's going to be Longo's first because I know like the Wade Boggs jersey, they only did that because he had his 3,000 hit there, but like he didn't really do that much when he was with the Devil Rays.
Yeah.
I feel like if they're going to do it, they're going to do Longo first, and then they'll do Crawford.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a reasonable take. I feel like that's what they'll probably do.
But yeah, I mean, like if he doesn't get his jersey retired by the Rays, then I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know who makes those decisions. I have no idea. Is that Neander?
We should put up to the front office.
Is that Stu?
They're gonna do it. There's no way that they're not gonna do it.
No,
Like
has Longo officially retired? I don't
no,
think he
but at this
has
point,
he?
because he hasn't been signed by a team this year and it's the middle of the season, I would have to think that he's starting to contemplate retirement.
Right? Like, because yeah, I was like, I didn't miss that anywhere that he hasn't like officially retired. He just hadn't signed anywhere.
No, he hadn't signed anywhere. And like at this point, I think because he hasn't signed anywhere, I just can't. I just can't see him getting signed and him probably going. Him like I just how I would have to assume that he's going to retire.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, I don't know if he's going to announce it. Like maybe it'll be a shock thing on Saturday. He'll just be like, "Oh, I'm retiring, guys."
Or it'd be pretty sick if this July goes. I don't know when's the deadline to sign free agents? Because if this July goes poorly and we decide to sell, why don't we just sign Longo for the rest of this half season? I mean, who cares?
Just
We're not gonna make
just
the
like
playoffs.
get crowds to games.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
get the nostalgic aspect there. I mean, why not?
I
Like,
did have that. I did hold back that take earlier. I had that exact same thought, and I was like,
I
no.
can't say that right now, but
right now I can't say it because we're still in the mix. But and no offense to Longo, he wouldn't help us make a playoff. I mean, who knows? Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow came out of nowhere and started hitting like he used to, just because he always seems to come in clutch for us. So I mean, but that's not reasonable. So
yeah,
Yeah, no.
I don't assume it would happen, but Saturday is going to be crazy at the Trop. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
like I said, this is going to be a moment where people are going to stop what they're doing and go to this game because they haven't seen Longo at the Trop in like 6 years, which is
Seven.
like it's so
Yeah, 6
astonishing that
years.
it's like that. But there's no way that it's not going to be a madhouse because of that.
and I mean, you think about what the team was like in 2016 and the years leading up to 2016. I mean, the culture around the franchise is a ton different than it was back then. I mean, in 2017, what was that? Four straight not non-playoff years because it
Yeah.
was 2013 to 2019 that we didn't make the playoffs. So, but now we've made the playoffs 6 straight years. So, right, 20, no, 5 straight years.
Five. It was
Um,
19 to 23.
2019,
Probably not
23.
24.
Um,
I don't want to.
Probably not going to be
I don't want to
six.
be. I don't want to be negative about it. But as things are trending right now, it's not looking great.
I concur with that. But yeah, it's just a different culture around the franchise, and it'll be cool hopefully a ton of people show out because I mean, not only that Longo plays, we're also playing one of the best teams in the MLB as well.
I think they
So
are the best team in baseball.
are they the best
I
team? At
think
least
by
the best team.
record, I think they're either the best team or the second best team. Here, let me check this. Yeah,
It's
629. Okay, not as good as the Orioles. They're a half game behind the Orioles.
they're the third best.
Third best team behind the Phillies and the Orioles.
They're a game and a half out of the best record in the entire MLB.
Yeah,
So
yeah, no, and they're a half game out of the best record in the AL.
so yeah, one of the best teams in the entire MLB. Like the crowd should be pumping along with you two. So you guys go over that yet? That you guys are
Yes,
Oh yeah,
no,
yeah.
nice.
I already mentioned it. Somehow, some way, we'll be there. However it is, we'll be there.
That'd be
I'll be
sick.
there.
No, it should be fun. Like it should be a fun series going into the All-Star break. I'm hoping that things go well against the Yankees, and we'll talk about that in just a second, probably after the break. But yeah, I don't see. I mean, I think it should just be fun. I think that Longo's going to make the weekend more exciting. There's two good giveaways. I know there's a kids giveaway. There's a Randy shirt giveaway, which should be cool. But yeah, I mean, it should be it
Be a
should
nice one.
be it should be a fun thing. It should be interesting. It should be a good time. Like it just feels so weird to say like Longo's going to be at the Trop because I haven't said that in so long. We haven't said that on this podcast ever.
Our boy's
Like,
coming
think
Yeah.
about
back.
that. It's the first time in nearly 200 episodes that we've ever said in like 4 years of doing this podcast that we've ever said that.
Yeah. I mean,
I
for
didn't
a
think that's
franchise guy, yeah,
It's strange.
yeah.
it is very strange.
I mean, yeah. I wonder where does he live now? Does he still live in Arizona? I wonder. Like
I thought he had a place in St. Pete because like he comes back here a lot.
he does, but I don't know. Like you think he? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know where he. I wonder where he lives like full time.
I don't know.
But
He's got everything going for him. He had a good career, a potentially Hall of Fame career at one point. Unfortunately, injuries derailed that. Multiple All-Star appearances, multiple trips to the World Series, awards out the wazoo. I mean, he's accomplished it all. Minus winning an MVP and a World Series title. Like he's pretty much accomplished it all,
yeah,
which is pretty damn good.
multiple Gold Glove winner.
Multiple Silver
How many
Sluggers.
times did he win the Gold Glove? Like three times,
I
I
think
think.
three and multiple Silver Sluggers. So I mean, he's
Multiple World Series appearances on
yeah,
different teams,
one in each league.
In different leagues too.
different
Yeah.
leagues.
Both like God knows how it was like 15 plus years
He-
between
one
them,
of
which
two
is
races to
crazy.
ever one of two races to ever hit for the cycle too. Which is kind of cool too.
Yeah.
But
Also, we should because Gibby mentioned it. we have our lone All-Star representative, which ESPN apparently did not care to give him a good All-Star package because I had to do the whole journalistic sleuthing on it. Because when I saw the video for the first time, I was like, did they just show a pop out as one of his highlights? Because when you watch the video, you're like, he just put his bat down and he put his head down like he was about to pop up a baseball. So I had to do my own sleuthing on this. It was a bloop single that he thought was a pop up. So
Yeah.
they had like 15 seconds to talk about Isaac Paredes, and of the many things that, including the 14 home runs that he's hit this season, which is more than reason enough to be able to send him to Arlington, along with the other stuff that he's done. But the two clips you show of him are a bloop single he thought was a pop out and another single.
Yeah,
Two singles.
was pretty crazy.
Two.
Classic.
Like, I'm not even. I
They just looked up Isaac Paredes hits and they're like, oh yeah, this one's good.
How do you even find like
the B-roll footage?
I don't even understand how you find two singles. Like, I mean, yeah, I feel like you have to dig a lot for two singles because no singles are going to be in a highlight package. Like, I mean, you have to actually watch the games for the singles, right?
I just think
finding home runs is a lot easier than finding a single.
I don't know.
Double,
I just feel
like
for a guy who's making the All-Star game, like you should find All-Star worthy moments. Not an at bat where you don't show the ball falling at all and it looks like he just popped out. I know this is probably just me being bored.
Show him bat flipping too, like bat flipping happy.
Yeah, I mean, like
for
every All-Star, they should show, like, for a pitcher, they should show him striking guys out or doing something like that. And for a hitter, if he hit a home run, then show him hitting a home run. Or like if it's Stephen Kwan, then show him hitting a. I mean, he's hitting off home runs this year, but like show him hitting like an extra base hit because like he doesn't hit home runs like other guys do. But if he's hit 14, it shouldn't be that hard to find 14 potential home run clips to use.
I agree.
I'm probably just speaking to the choir. And it's also overshadowing the fact of like Isak making his first All-Star appearance, which is awesome. Also, I don't know how many Mexican-born players have made the All-Star team in itself, which is another big moment when it comes to just the culture of baseball in this country and in the world. So that's awesome to see that he made his first All-Star appearance and is also representing Mexico at the same time. Just doesn't happen. Like,
definitely.
I mean, there's not that many Mexican players in baseball. I know Randy. It's a weird thing with the citizenship and all that stuff because he's not actually Mexican. But in terms of like Mexican-born players specifically, I don't know how many all time have ever made an All-Star team. I'm sure it's enough, but I think it's awesome that he's able to represent his home country and he's able to represent the Rays in Arlington.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely had in the World Baseball, they definitely had a pretty good team. A lot of good guys. There's definitely more than a handful of MLB players on that team. Just can't remember.
Oh no, for sure. I'm not saying there weren't. It's more of just there's
a huge accomplishment.
No, it's massive. It's massive. I'm glad that he I'm glad that he got this. There's a couple guys that I would have put up. He's one of them. Jason Adam is one of them. I mean, even like Taj in recent weeks, Taj was making a case for himself.
Yeah, if Taj was in here earlier,
I probably wouldn't have picked Taj, but like Taj is making a name for himself for sure. So you don't have that many guys.
Fairbanks has kind of recovered it. You just had like those first two.
I think Isak.
But yeah, Isak definitely deserved it. I mean, despite he did have not a great June, but he was so good. I mean, he was like he was the only Rays good hitter from basically the beginning of the season until like the second week of June. So he definitely deserved it. It stinks that he's kind of faltered off recently, but I'm glad that his first half of the season, I guess, was still recognized and it was one of the best third basemen. I mean, there was a part of the season, several weeks into the season, that he was expected to start the All-Star game. I mean, he was batting around 300. I think he had around 10, 11 home runs at the time. So I'm glad that stretch of the season is getting recognized by the MLB, and he definitely deserves to be an All-Star.
For sure. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in this latest episode of Raise the Roof. Hi, everyone. Alex here with a quick word from our sponsor, SeatGeek. SeatGeek is your one-stop shop for tickets for everything from live theater and concerts to sporting events like Rays games.
SeatGeek uses a color-coded scale to show you where the best deals are, with green being good and red being bad. If you haven't used SeatGeek before, we have a special deal just for you. Use code RAISETHEROOF, that's RAISE spelled R-A-Y-S, at checkout for $20 off your first purchase with SeatGeek. Again, that's code RAISETHEROOF for $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. Thanks so much to SeatGeek for sponsoring us, and let's get back to this latest episode of Raise the Roof.
And we're back on this latest episode of Raise the Roof. And we have a series to talk about, possibly series to talk about if we want to go into the Cleveland series. But we do have a 3-game set against the Yankees. Race have a 3-game set against the Yankees coming up this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Evan, do you have pitching matchups up?
I do. Tomorrow night, it's going to be Rodon versus Pepio. Wednesday night, it'll be Stroman versus Eflin. And on Thursday, it'll be Nestor versus Boz again. So Shane Boz will get his second start of the season.
So they're avoiding, I mean, that's good. They're avoiding.
No Cole.
What's his face? Yeah, they're avoiding Cole.
And yeah, Littell doesn't pitch.
Do you have any ideas of the weekend of what it's going to look like?
And then the weekend, it'll be, I'm assuming it'll be Taj on Friday, right? Taj was last Saturday, so it'll be Carrasco versus Taj, and then Gavin Williams versus Zach Littell, and then it'll be Pepio versus Ben Lively.
I don't know how good. I mean, I know Cleveland's pitching has been good, but I don't know how good all three of those guys have been this year.
Pretty sure Gavin Williams, his numbers aren't great this year, but he's a young stud. Like
Carrasco is Carrasco, but I don't know how well he's done with Cleveland. And I know Lively used to be on the Phillies, I think.
Carrasco has loading. Hasn't been great. 3-6, 5.22 ERA, 1.36 WHIP.
I think Lively used to be on the Phillies and used to be on the Angels, but I know he used to be on the Phillies for sure.
Not great, but yeah, Gavin Williams supposed to be like the next guy for them. He's supposed to be a stud.
So not the best series in terms of matchups, but not the worst series.
No, and I mean, even though Cole doesn't look like himself, just because he's obviously building himself back up, it is always nice to not have to face him. And I mean, I can't wait till the Yankees offense figures their stuff out against us, because that's what teams do.
And also the Rays are avoiding what's his face, Luis Gil too.
Yeah, and he pitched very, very well last night against the Sox.
Somehow Devers pulled a pitch that was like 3 feet out of the zone.
That was unbelievable. I don't know how
well, I didn't even know Longo hit 16 homers against. So was that against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, or was that just against the Yankees in general?
I think it was at
Yankee Stadium.
I mean, Longo's a Yankee killer.
Yeah.
He played for them for long enough to be able to be a Yankee killer. Yeah. So interesting series, I would say. It's definitely gonna be a lot of Yankees fans, a lot of fake Tampa Bay sports fans who are Yankees fans in some way, shape, or form. Or just transplants from
they were here first. Hey.
Or just transplants from up north. But this is, I mean, again, the Yankees are well in the playoff race right now. They've almost secured a playoff spot at this point, but they have been struggling.
Oh yeah,
mightily struggling.
And I bet they're happy to see that we're on the schedule, because nobody gets a team on track better than this Tampa Bay Rays team.
Yeah, you're telling me 2024 Rays, baby.
They're did the same thing again. I mean, the Rangers was the same exact thing. Maybe not struggling as much as the Yankees are right now, but they were not a good team, and we made them look, like I said earlier, we made them look like the World Series champs of last year. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees come in and they're like, oh, nice, we got the confidence back. Offense scores 6 runs every game, which they haven't been doing. Their offense has not been good. But yeah, I mean, that's just what we do. We make the other teams look great this year.
Gibby, what are your, like, if there's a word to describe what you've seen from the Rays this year, what is it?
Mid. I mean, that's the only thing.
That's a good word.
The only word. Just, I mean, you kind of been cleaning up some series recently, and I said this about in the last one. I mean, we just beat the Royals, and then we just take 0-3 against a not so great returning Rangers team. You know, they're more out of a wild card than we are right now, and yeah, we're making them look great out there, and they're sweeping us and scoring 13 runs against us. That was crazy. So yeah, going against the Yankees now, they are struggling, and yeah, I mean, they look at us like Evan said, like dinner right now. I mean, maybe when they were looking at the Royal series, they were a little worried, but now they've kind of seen, oh, they're kind of back to their old ways. So I hope we can get this is the best time to take a series from the Yankees. Probably the most opportune time of the season. Because they are like 3-7 in the last 10, so it has not been too great for them. But I mean, they've shown some offensive spark. On Saturday, they scored 14 runs against the Red Sox. The Red Sox pitching is just like ours, kind of like pretty mid, but
The Red Sox are good this year. They are.
but they are
They're
but
not
their
good. They're so
offense,
lucky.
but
They're
their
so
offense
lucky.
is yeah.
You still got to be good to be lucky.
Yeah. Their offense really kicks it up for them. But yeah, some of those bullpen guys have been really good for the Red Sox. I feel like that's kind of their secret weapon almost. But yeah, for the Yankees, I mean, just keep Judge in the park. We're avoiding Lewis Gill, like you said. We can just kind of pitch around some of these struggling guys right now. So, I mean, we're going to be playing basically the same ball game. They're going to pitch around our hot guys. We're going to pitch around their hot guys. And that sounded funny. But
A lot of attractive dudes on
yeah, just a lot of attractive dudes on both teams.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Gonna be pitching balls.
Pride Month might be over, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting series for sure.
Yeah.
We'll see what our medal is. See if we can get a series off these motherfuckers because it's at home. Struggling Yankees team. This is the time to do it.
This is.
You
I
know.
agree. I think it's astonishing that the Rays are still as good as they are with the run differential that they have.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's like I say every episode, it's just that clutch hitting that we have when it's a close game.
It's a lot of one-run games. A lot of one-run win. God damn it. That's a tongue twister right there.
1 run wins.
It's a lot of close ball games. I'll say that.
1 run wins.
I mean, yeah, we should. I mean, obviously the Yankees are better than we are, but considering how poorly the Yankees have been playing, we need to take the series. And considering we don't play their best pitchers either, I believe in their last 22 games, I counted, the Yankees are 6-16. So yeah, not good at all. It's kind of reminiscent of our July last year, is kind of what I'm getting that vibe off of. They had a spectacular start and maybe not coming back down to earth, but they're just cooling off a ton, which is extremely similar to what we did last year. Because I think we won like 5 games in all of July.
Yeah,
so I guess
not too good of a July last season.
So their July is like just moved up a half a month. So very similar. And we're getting the dog days of summer too. So yeah, we need to take this series. I mean, this series against the Rangers, we left so many people on base. I didn't get to watch Friday's game a whole lot, but I was checking a lot. And I swear every time I checked, we had 1 or 2 runners on base, like every single inning, and didn't score a single run. So I don't exactly know
how to get
happened.
guys on base and not drive them in.
I don't know how that happened. I swear we had like 12 men on base and that's game, and we got shut out. So and then on Saturday nobody got a big hit except for Yandy. I mean, he basically had the only big hit the whole series. And then Sunday, yeah, Caballero had the home run, but it didn't really matter at all. So
yeah,
because Littell is addicted to giving. I mean, I don't even know what Littell's performance yesterday is, like almost DFA worthy, just because of how horrible some of those pitches were. Kind of.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't even call him anywhere close to DFA worthy, but it just wasn't a great outing.
No, I know, but it just that one outing was like, dude, what are you? It reminded me a lot of Chirino's last year. Just like, I mean, middle of the plate meatballs.
Yeah, reminds me a lot of like Yarbs when he started struggling. He stopped getting like the weak contact on pitches.
Mm-hmm. And
stopped getting in those like longer counts. Kind of was walking a lot of guys.
And he was allergic to pitching anything near the corners, so it was everything was in the middle of the plate. But
hopefully he can find his command again. That'd be nice.
But the 2 silver linings, which I am looking forward to hopefully continuing in this series, is that our 2 young pitchers looked great. I guess Taj isn't pitching this series, but in the next series against the Guardians.
This week.
But hey, our other young pitcher, Pepio.
And Boz looked great on Friday. Boz, I mean, he was 1 out away from getting out of that 4th inning, I think. And I mean, they lost 3-0. All 3 runs came with 2 outs. And other than that, Boz looked spectacular. He was awesome. So seeing that, his fastball, I think, was reaching 98, 99, which is also a great sign. And I'm looking forward to seeing that hopefully continue on Thursday against Nestor.
Yeah, for sure. I think that again, this is a very winnable series for the Rays. The Rays have been a good team in recent weeks, regardless of what happened specifically last weekend against the Rangers. But the Rays have been a good team in recent weeks, and the Rays have been able to string wins together, which has been, very, very good to see. But is there anything specifically that you guys want to see in this series against a good team like the Yankees, regardless of whether the Yankees are struggling or not? The Yankees are still a playoff team right now. They're a team with the capability of a deep playoff run. So, is there anything specifically you guys want to see the Rays try to do against the Yankees in the series?
This will be part of my pick a player too, but I want to see Isak Paredes. I mean, he was not effective the last series. He did finally get his All-Star nomination, which I 100% think he deserves. Just need to see some more offensive production out of him because, I mean, with our 1-4 hitters, we kind of got Yandy back. We have, by the way, Evan, Randy is at 201 right now, I think.
Nice. He's above the 200. He's above the Mendoza
Above
line.
200. So
First
that's a
time all
good
season,
sign. And
probably.
so yeah, our 1-2-3-4 hitters going to be so crucial, and Isak Paredes is part of that. And it's got to drive in a lot of those runs, a lot of those pull side runs. Let's get a fucking not even an Oppo Taco, a center field home run from Isak Paredes. Watch it happen. Watch it happen this series. It's happening this series. That's why I want to see Alec. It's going to be I think it's up to offense because obviously the last series, even though the last game was obviously all on the pitching, because it has already blown out of the water with Zach Littell by then. Friday, Saturday, that's all on the offense kind of, and they weren't able to get that clutch hit that they have been able to get kind of all season on Saturday. So need to see those late run. We just need to be within one run and we have a chance, honestly. So let's not blow games out of the water.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to hop on to answer your question. Alex, I'm going to hop on to the latter part that you said there, just get the clutch hit. I mean, there were so many times in that series when they had runners on first and second with no outs, and so many times when they would hit in a double play. So we need to get like that huge hit. And like I said earlier, Yandy did do that, but I mean, obviously you can't expect to win games when only one guy is doing that. So we need to break through and hopefully it's not hopefully we can kind of just erase what happened against Texas and maybe just brush off, be like, they do just own us. Like I don't know why, I don't know how, but they just seem to have our number. And hopefully we can kind of brush that off, erase it from the memory, and use this off day to kind of regroup and just we need to break through and get that big hit, bases loaded. Like if we're down 2 runs, got to come through and get that game tying hit. So that's my key to the series.
I like it. I like it. Well, it's time to pick a player in this series. Pick a players if we want to in this series. Who do you guys have? What players do you guys think are going to stand out? What players do you guys think are going to bounce back? Where are we going with this? I think I'll start with Gibby on this one.
All right. I already said Isak Paredes as my hitter. He's going to be key to this series, getting some knocks in, obviously. And yeah, we can't have him having all these fall. I mean, it's kind of just the ball not falling the right way and kind of some weaker contact. So he's still making good contact, but hopefully gets more on track this series because we need him. And then, I mean, our young pitching trifecta of Pepio, Taj, Shane Baz now is going to be so key, not only this season, but seasons going forward. So I'm going to pick Pepio out of those three, kind of start off the series, get us a win, pitch around hot hitters. Aaron Judge is always going to be, even if you think he's in a lull, he'll break out of that very fast. So pitching around him and getting some of their more weaker hitters. I mean, I don't even know who's really been like kind of the weaknesses on their team right now, but I mean, just looking at it, like Volpe's not even doing like terribly well. So, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity here. Avoid Juan Soto at all costs because I mean he dogged us last time. Just absolutely pimped our entire franchise. Yeah, so it's gonna be a good series. And Pepio and Isak Paredes gonna be key players in that series.
I like it. All right, Evan, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the other young pitcher in this series. I'm gonna go with Baz. like I kind of touched on, he pitched very well on Friday. He went, what was it, six innings even. Gave up 7 hits, which isn't great, but gave up 3 runs with 6 strikeouts and only 1 walk. So I think that's the highlight right there. He had 6 strikeouts, 1 walk.
Yeah, and only one really bad inning. Like
Yeah,
all those
and he
runs came
just
in one inning.
and they all came with 2 outs. If he gets out of that inning, I mean, obviously plays out differently, but who knows? We might have had a better chance to win if he was just able to get that 3rd out, which does seem to be a recurring theme with this team. Getting the 3rd out seems to be extremely difficult sometimes, but yeah, hopefully he can bounce back. Hopefully he can take advantage of this struggling lineup because yeah, I think like you said, I think Volpe's been horrendous recently. What is he batting nowadays? He's batting. Uh, is he batting 251? There's no way. I thought he was
I'm not
batting
counting
worse than
anything
that,
out.
but I thought he was batting worse than that. But yeah, I hopefully he can just take advantage and hopefully he can just continue to grow, I guess, as a pitcher and show us signs of what we, I guess, were promised and what we did see of Boz when he was in the majors before his injury. And then on the hitting side, I'll go with Jose Siri, I guess. We're facing 2 lefties, I think is what I said, in Nestor and Rodon. So he should be playing both of those games, if not all 3 of the games this series. So hopefully he's got the matchup and hopefully he can, I guess, pimp. I mean, it should be Pakistan, so I mean, Jose does kind of feed off that energy, so hopefully he can pimp a home run in front of the sold out maybe crowd. Probably not sold out, but almost sold out crowd.
Oh, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. I am gonna go with Bilal, and then I mean he had a pretty decent week, which has been good to see. Got some homers in Kansas City, which was awesome. And then I will go with who do I want to go with on the pitching side of things? Give me Poche. Give me Poche to have a couple good outings against the Yankees. I don't know what he's gonna do, but hopefully some good outings against the Yankees. Bounce back. I know he had a decent week, but always a good time to continue to have a decent week. Have a better week. Good week, make it a better week.
Yeah, and I mean, Poche's had a pretty good season so far. He was kind of like the villain of last season, especially for Evan.
He's always the villain for me. I wasn't even just last season, but he has been very good this year. He has been since coming off the injury. He's been phenomenal. So
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt, but
No, that's good.
Well, I was gonna say we've gotten everything we need to get done, and I have one more thing that I wanted to discuss with you guys because I think it's a fun conversation starter to have. All of the All-Stars were announced. We had everything. We had the starters, we had the reserves, pitchers, hitters. But I have one question for you guys. Should Paul Skeens start the All-Star game for the National League?
I think Jeff Passan just put it best. Like, absolutely. Like, if you want the most eyes on it possible from the first inning, just from like the coaching standpoint, yeah, I'd put him in. And I mean, he's got some of the best stuff right now. So I think it'd always be wasteful not to put him in the first for the first 3, I guess. Or do they do 2 do the starting pitchers do 2 innings?
typically
It's like
2, I
anywhere between
think.
1 and 2.
Yeah. So if you want the most eyes possible, it's the best to do it from the beginning. Put him in there, And I mean, he's been phenomenal all
He's been
season.
electric. He's been electric.
Yeah,
Everybody,
I mean, if Shane McClanahan got it last season, I think Paul Skeens deserves it this season for sure.
Yeah,
Because I
everybody.
mean, both have had very electric stuff.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, I mean,
Early in their
that's a
careers.
tough question.
It's a fun question though.
Who out like I'm not gonna lie, the National League pitchers don't.
Rangers kind of fallen
Rangers
off in recent.
Ranger Suarez is probably the guy who I would say if Paul Skeens doesn't, I'd say it should be Ranger. I mean, Ranger's still just having a hell of a season, a 2.58 ERA.
Yeah, but he's
Was
not been great in recent. I mean, having
got
a
a-
sub-2 ERA was pretty unsustainable for the most part, just because that's like you have to be ungodly good. But he's just not been as effective in recent weeks.
I mean, he is leading the league in in qualified ERA. I mean, Paul Skeens has a lower ERA, but I don't think he's among qualified. He's not a qualified pitcher yet, I don't think.
Nah, but he's a dog.
Um, And Ranger Suarez does have a whip of 1 even, so I think it's 1.019. So he's got a very good whip. I mean, I don't know. Like probably the pitchers aren't great in the NL. Like
I
I don't
will
know.
say maybe Ranger Suarez does deserve it more, but as a fan, I want to see call out there.
If he doesn't go one, then I want him to go. I want him to be the second pitcher out there.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
I mean, good for. I guess to answer your question, it would be sick if he started, but I don't think he should, and I don't think he will. Just because I mean, Ranger Suarez has pitched. Let's see this. Yeah, I mean, Paul Skeens does only have 59 innings, and Ranger Suarez has 108. So I mean, he has what is that exactly double?
Close to it.
Almost double.
Or almost double the amount of innings that Skeens has. So I mean, you're flipping a coin. I don't think he should, but and I don't think he will. But I don't blame you if you do think that he should.
I
is my
think it would
answer.
be sick. I'm fine with whoever they throw. I just think, I mean, for as electric as he's been, and as many eyes that are on him, I think that'd be awesome.
And we don't know how long we'll have this version of Paul Skeens.
That's true. I do want Tariq Skubal to go for the American League. Not even close. That guy's
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, he's so good.
He's got to be undisputed. The undisputed.
He's so good. He's
starter.
so ridiculously good.
And shout out to Glass now because he made his first All-Star selection, which is kind of insane to think that that's his first All-Star game.
Well, this is what happens when you're healthy, you know?
Yeah,
healthy guy.
I know we haven't seen Glass now healthy ever.
It's also pretty remarkable. Chris Sale's back in the All-Star game, eighth All-Star selection.
We got Alonso going to his 5th straight home run derby. So like, watch out, kids in the outfield, because
why do they still do that, dude?
I don't know. I don't know
so
why
funny.
they put the kids in the outfield. At this point, it's the stupidest thing ever.
But it's so funny.
You know
though.
how hard
It's
you
so
know how
funny.
hard Pete is trying out there.
Dude, Pete's trying to nail kids. He's got like a radar on his mind. He's
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
oh man, who can I make them?
if
kick?
he doesn't win this year, this has to be his last one. Like he can't keep.
I would have to
doing
assume. I mean, he's 2 for 4, so he's got a 50% win percentage at this point, which is pretty good.
Pretty good, but you got to quit while you're ahead.
That's true. I'm sure. Yeah.
It's a good field though. So far.
Do we know who else is in the home run derby?
We have
Gunnar,
Gunnar. We have
Bohm.
Ozuna from the Braves because why not? That's gonna go over well considering his past. We have Boberson Witt Jr. And then we have good old Alec Bohm because 11 bombs apparently is good enough to make the home run derby.
Woo!
King of doubles. Alec Bohm is gonna. If this was the doubles derby, Alec Bohm would win by a landslide. But it's the home run derby, so I got no money on him.
Damn.
Yeah, Alec Bohm's a
It's
pretty
kind of
boring
disappointing.
selection.
Randy's not back.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, Bohm,
he does deserve it.
Bohm can drive in guys like crazy. He's not a home run hitter. But I mean, what do I know? So we'll see.
Yeah, Bobby Witt and Gunner's pretty electric though.
Gunner's gonna be stud.
But it is cool. One more thing about the All-Star game is in terms of the pitchers, it is cool. It's just a different generation. Like, I mean, there's no Verlander, no Scherzer, no Kershaw. Like, all of these guys seem to be making their first or second. Like, if you go down the list of the AL,
there's a lot of new guys. I think they said it was like 30
NL,
plus new guys are making the first time.
Every guy in the NL pitchers they're all making their first or second All-Star game except for Sale. It's everybody else is making their first or second, which is kind of insane. And same thing on the American League side, except for Burns and Clase, who are making their 4th and 3rd respectively. So it is cool. They're all new names. All like just seems like a different generation there. Who are going to be traveling to Arlington next week. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, we got a new regime of pitchers, and hopefully Shane will make his coming up soon. Hopefully Taj and Boz will get theirs soon. So. It'd be nice if in the new regime of these guys coming in that the Rays get a couple representatives moving forward.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think with that being what?
No. With Shane coming back, that's a given.
Hopefully he's got many, many more All-Star games in his future for sure. But I think with that being said, that's going to conclude things on this latest episode of Raise the Roof. We appreciate you guys as always. If you guys didn't hear what we said at the top, we are on a number of new listening platforms across the podcasting world. We are on Amazon Music now, we're on Audible, and we're on iHeartRadio, so make sure to listen to us there. If you guys don't use Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can use both of those. Make sure to share this with your family, friends, anyone who you know who's a baseball fan or a Rays fan that wants to add a podcast to their podcast feed. Also, again, big shout out to our sponsors In the Clutch, SeatGeek, and 1771 Designs for their constant support of us and what we do. Again, if you guys are at the Trop this weekend, be sure to say hi. We'll be around. We'll be doing stuff. Hopefully, we'll have a lot of fun content coming to you guys. It should be a great time. Always nice to go to the Trop. So just can't wait for that. Can't wait to see you guys. Can't wait to see some Rays baseball. But with that being said, thanks so much for listening. And as always, Rays up.
Raise up, baby.
Raise up, baby.